So from this point on, you're never going to see the aggregate supply curve or aggregate demand curve on its own. You're always going to see it in the model, because remember, we're using these in order to try to understand how our economy is performing. So what does this look like? Well, again, you already understand the concept of an equilibrium, but we're actually going to have two different equilibriums whenever we talk about our aggregate supply and aggregate demand model. Now, the first one is just our short run equilibrium. And our short run equilibrium is the point wherever we see that our aggregate demand curve, right, intersects with our short run aggregate supply curve. So it's that point right there where our price level at our equilibrium and our output equilibrium, wherever we see that our short run aggregate supply is equal to our aggregate demand. Because what this represents is the amount of goods and services being demanded is exactly equal to the total dollar amount of goods and services being supplied. And so we see that the market clears. Now, here's what I want you to understand about what this short run equilibrium is. The point where our aggregate demand curve intersects with our short run aggregate supply curve, it represents where our economy is actually operating right now. So right now, that's the point where we are. But what we want to see is, what exactly is this long run equilibrium thing? Well, our long run equilibrium is the point where our aggregate demand curve intersects with our short run aggregate supply curve, but it also intersects with our long run aggregate supply curve. So all three of those points are intersecting with one another. And so what this is saying is that the price level at which our amount of goods and services being demanded is equal to the amount being supplied, but that is also happening at a point where we are at our potential, or we're being fully efficient. And that's our goal. We want to be fully efficient, and we want our economy to be currently operating at a point where we are fully efficient.